What's going on? Welcome to the Curtis J. Clark YouTube channel where we talk about mindset, business, lifestyle, travel. But before we get deep into building this YouTube channel and making it a household name, I have some episodes in the archive from the Speak Life Shine Bright podcast that I've done. I did this episode January 2nd, 2022. It got released under William James Living Legend on Spotify and all podcast streaming platforms for Speak Life Shine Bright, but I wasn't able to post the video itself, because it was 2 hours long, had to pull off the Google Drive, the audio didn't match up, so many different barriers. But today, I'm going to upload this where William James talk about playing, growing up, coming out of Brownsville, Pennsylvania, playing football, making it to the University of Michigan to play for the Wolverines, being drafted by the Giants, getting into the fashion, and then coming back to Brownsville to lead his community. Enjoy this episode.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody's doing good. And if you're not good, I hope everything works out for the good. Today, I just want to say welcome to another episode with Speak Life, Shine Bright. I'm your host, Kurt, and I pulled up, baby, to Brownsville, Pennsylvania. This is a special place to me. This is like my second home to do another podcast episode. And today, I have a special guest. We're talking about somebody who's he's a real giant in the land doing great things. You know, he's a retired NFL player, cornerback, defensive back. You know, he's a living legend, in my opinion. And he's empowering the youth. And I said, man, before I started the podcast, I envisioned sitting down next to the living legend and to allow him to speak to the four corners of the earth and tell them what he's doing to empower the youth, what he's doing after retirement, what he's doing currently in his life. And I believe it's going to be very uplifting to the listeners. So I want y'all to give a special round of applause to William James Peterson. Woo! How you doing today?
Man, I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for accepting the invite to Speak Life Shine Bright. And like I said, as soon as I contacted you and said, hey, let's do a podcast, you said, when? I said, January 2nd. You said, book me. You said, what time? You gave me a time, and it all worked out. So I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad you have the time to take to come on to Speak Life, to share your story. So let's get into it. Right now, we're just going to give the people like a visual of where you're born and your childhood. That way they can have a where you came from to where you're at now. So where were you born?
I was born in Brownsville, Pennsylvania, Fayette County, which is one of 67 counties in Pennsylvania, one of the poorest counties in Pennsylvania, and was pretty much raised here until I was a teenager.
Okay.
Then I started to move around a little bit. Ended up moving out to Arizona during my 7th grade year. Came back here 8th grade.
What part of Arizona?
Okay, there's a place called Sierra Vista, which is directly north of Nogales, New Mexico.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and we used to play basketball back and forth across the state, and so there's a army base out there.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandmother was out there at the time, and so when we left here, I went out there and stayed with her, and then that began the process of me going back and forth. So I came back here after my 7th grade year. My 8th grade year was spent here in Brownsville.
Okay.
I went back out to Arizona.
Brownsville. Because you know, there's got Brownsville, Texas.
Yeah.
You got Brownsville, Brooklyn. You don't want to come from Brownsville,
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
I know it.
So this is Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
And when you said Brownsville, Pennsylvania, knowing that it has so many different counties in or places in Pennsylvania itself, what's the city that's closest to Brownsville?
Okay, so Brownsville is situated about 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Okay, and about 35 minutes north of Morgantown.
Nice.
Okay, and so I would say it's a big country. You know, it's much slower than Brownsville, New York.
yeah.
But nonetheless, we are in a very, I guess, poor county, you know, here. And so there's a lot of poverty, a lot of a lack of opportunity, economic disparity here is pretty prevalent between the haves and the have-nots, and even the demographics here. You know, I was just made aware of the demographics here in terms of the population being 90% white here.
Yes.
Okay, and it just I just found that out maybe 3 months ago, and it just hit me like, wow, like, you know, I guess the way I was looking at it at the time was, even if we, as a collective body of people, say black and brown people, wanted to make something happen or do something together in here in this county for our people, just how many of other people that we have to get involved.
Okay.
Right. And it made me think like, man, with the voting, even, you know, if there's a, if there was a guy that ran for office that was racist in Fayette County, right, he would get elected no matter if we decided to vote against him or not.
Because it's 90% versus
10%.
I mean, not 90% racist.
Right.
The predominantly white than blacks.
Minority, right?
So you couldn't come together and say, I would vote, then persuade either side.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I get that.
Right. And so that was my thought initially when I found out that statistic, and it was just like, wow, I didn't know that.
Okay, so we'll get into the battles of how that hinder and how you come and you doing what you're doing currently. Okay. Now, growing up, you said you born in Brownsville, then you guys went to Arizona. Now, who raised you?
Okay, so until my mother and my mother and my father were together until I was about 11 years old. Okay, around 11 years old, and then when they split, the family was thrown all over the place. I have two sisters, biological sisters. I have three sisters. Another sister through my father, through another marriage.
Yes.
And I really didn't know her growing up too much, but she is my sister. She's in Atlanta right now. But until I was about 11 years old, my mother and my father, were around. But after that, the family was spread out and separated. My sister went lived with a family. I went and lived with another family. And then from that point, we were never again together as a yeah.
So your mother was raising you until that point, but then you went to more. She probably couldn't handle you, like you said. You think handle everything, or?
Well, my mother worked. When I was young, I remember my mother working for Gabriel Brothers.
Okay, I know Gabriel Brothers.
Gabriel Brothers, right? She was a regional manager for the Gabriel Brothers, and one of the great memories I have is we used to always get name brand clothes, but they might have a hole here or
missing a little
button
thread.
Yeah. Wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
That out. But I still had the Z Cavaricis on.
Nice.
So up until I was 11, 12 years old, that's what I remember her doing.
Okay.
Now, my father at the time, he was in and out of the home, even up until that time, just trying to make a way, you know what I mean, and in the streets and in and out of all kinds of things. But at that point, when we left here, their marriage kind of split. They were never divorced, but they split. And my mother then went out to Arizona, and we went with her. Okay. And so there was me, my two sisters, and a young girl named Yasmin. That was my cousin. She was my cousin, yeah. So spending time with her out there, I think it got a little hard. I think it got a little hard for her. Financially, one, but then also I'm a growing boy turning into a young man.
Yes.
12, 13, teenager, right? And I remember I was wilding out. I started wilding a little bit. I remember breaking into cars. I remember running with the wrong people. Some of my buddies that I ran with out there in Arizona, I mean, they're doing time, and a lot of them not here.
Wow.
And so I was out there with her for a year, then thought it would be best if I came back here to live with my uncle.
Nice.
And so I was here my 8th grade year, then got in trouble here, Brownsville.
So would you say that is your mother your role model?
You know, she put a lot in me. She definitely had an impact on me, especially with fashion, because I ended up getting into fashion. Okay, but in terms of my role model, I wouldn't call her my role model. You know,
Who is your role model?
I would say my uncle. You know, my uncle who stepped in when my mother. Me and my mother started to have some issues out there in Arizona.
Mr. Peterson.
Yeah.
That's a sharp man right there.
Yeah, so Uncle Frank.
Yeah, he used to come out to the basketball games.
Yeah.
And when he shake my hand, he look you in the eye and give you a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good he is a good man.
He is a good man.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great man.
He's
actually.
a great man.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity. I was blessed to be able to be in a situation where there was a man in the family that I could look to and say, okay, if my dad is not here, I need to be there, you know. And so the story is told to me nowadays that I asked to go back and live with him because I said I wanted some discipline. This is how they tell the story to me, and I don't remember all of the details of that, you know. So going back and forth from Arizona to here, then I got out here and I got in trouble and I was sent back to Arizona. Then I got out to Arizona and had some success playing ball.
Okay.
You know, and then I came back here and
that's another question.
Go ahead.
So do you remember the first time you held a football? Who placed that football in your hand, and what's your first memory of dealing with the football itself?
Yeah. I don't remember. You know, the closest thing to the first that I have in terms of a memory with sports, with football in specific, is playing for Cox Donahue and being a tackle. You know, I was an offensive tackle.
Okay.
And I don't remember too much about it, but I just remember being a tackle and being the fastest kid on the field.
On the team, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was bigger, I guess. I feel like I was always this size. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might have been born like this.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember that and playing football at Cox Donahue. And then even in terms of wanting to play football after that, it wasn't, I don't remember it being like that. I don't remember it being like, okay, man, he's really good at football. We should keep him on this path. You know, that was 6th grade. I was a tackle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from that point, I'm not sure what the point was that sparked me to say, this is it, until my high school years.
Yeah, because that's the next question, actually. What made you passionate or motivated to pursue to get deep into the football, the ethics of it in the sports, to know that one day you might go pro? What was that? What was that point that you remember in you said middle school, 8th grade?
No, I was in 10th grade.
10th grade, okay.
10th grade when that happened. And
At what school?
I was at a school called Amphi Theater, which is in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, Tucson, yeah.
Yeah, it's Tucson, Arizona. And it was a school called Amphi. I had just gotten there. I had got in trouble here. They sent me back out there. And football season was about to start. And so I found out what a local high school was. And I went up there to talk to the coaches. And at that time, they said 10th graders didn't play on the varsity. They said, but they would give me a tryout and see what happened. And I remember, you know, they asked me to go outside and do some laps and some other things. And when we came back in, they said, okay, we're going to give you a tryout on varsity. And then as the season started, you know, you go through preseason and all that, it was like, oh, you going to start for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from that point, you know, well, I'll rewind it a little bit. We were coached by a Hall of Fame coach, a high school coach by the name of Vern Friedley. Never forget that name. He had a program out there at Amphi that was second to none. They had sent on the walls when you walked into the gym, you could see all the guys that had come through there. And then not only that, alongside of their pictures, it had what they were lifting, what they were running, the exact weight that they were benching, in each year. So their 9th grade year they did this, their 10th grade year they did this, their 11th grade year they did this, their 12th grade year they did this. And now there's a picture up on the wall of them in the Canadian Football League, which I thought was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
There was a guy named John Volpe. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Okay.
John Volpe. Then the Michael Bates. Those guys. They
Bates' name sound familiar.
Bates were there was one that played for the Arizona ASU and went on to play in the NFL. I think
Tight end?
Seattle. No, they were fast.
Okay.
Fast. One of them won the Olympics.
Okay.
Okay, but they were on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then at the same time there was a kid that was in the backfield with me that was a senior, and I was a sophomore. He was a senior and he was going to Arizona State. Mm-hmm. He had got a scholarship from Arizona State, and so I'm finding out that, wow, I must be this good, right? Because I'm in the same backfield with these guys. Then I started getting letters, right? After the season, we ended up going to the state semifinals. Okay. And I did real well. I mean, I had a phenomenal year.
Sophomore. Up against seniors.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. I was. I mean, I did my thing. I remember having games 4 or 5 touchdowns, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on a big level, and I remember wanting to go every weekend to go get the paper after the games. You know what I mean? It was a good feeling to see myself in the paper for this, doing good, you know. And then after the season,
what year is this? What year is that? This is what?
This had to be 94.
94, okay, because we like to create a timeline so everybody can have a picture. Okay,
94,
so
94,
okay.
Yeah.
So you're in 10th grade. You had a great year. You guys, you won the championship?
No,
you made it to the.
We made it to the state semis.
Okay,
we didn't make it to the finals.
Okay, so you made it. So now your name is being called all over.
Yeah.
You made the paper.
Yeah.
And now you're getting ready to go into your junior year.
Yes.
Is that still at? You getting ready to go for the same high school?
No, that's when I decided. That's when I said I wanted to come back here for some discipline. And I came back here already. I was receiving letters from Nebraska, Arizona State, all kind of West Coast schools, and it was like, man, you know what? This is my ticket.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
If I play football, I can go to college. That was just the equation. Like, I can go to college, and so. Coming back to Brownsville, it was like, yo, I don't care what happens. I'm going to college, playing football.
Okay.
And when I got back here, that was the year that we first had lights. Right? They just brought the lights back to the stadium. That was the first time Brownsville had lights, and I got to do my research on it. They might not have had lights ever, or they might not have had lights for a couple decades. Hold
on. Time out. You're trying to say in Redstone, the Brownsville football field.
Yeah.
Didn't have lights?
They didn't have lights. I think they played on weekends.
Early in the day.
Yeah, or something.
So it wasn't no Friday night footballs back then.
No, not with their
program.
Not with the program.
In Brownsville.
Okay.
In
Brownsville, yeah.
Wow.
Because
same field, right?
Same field.
Okay.
I still have the clipping that says what did it say? Something about the lights. The lights, and then it goes into the lights were on the field, and da-da-da-da.
And then you came.
Then I came.
And they said, I said, let there be
light. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, yo.
Yeah, so, okay, this is your junior year. You came back determined. I want to play football, and football is going to give me it's going to help me get to college.
Yes.
And potentially a full scholarship.
Yes.
And now you're looking for that discipline to get you across that threshold.
Yes.
And only Uncle Frank
could
provide that discipline in the family.
Yes.
Okay, so now you with Uncle Frank. Yeah. How did he, when you first came back and he knew that, what was the first steps of him disciplining you to basically broaden your horizon for more letters and more opportunity?
Well, I've always, which is kind of ironic, but God doesn't make no mistakes. And I've always lived next to a stadium. Okay. I've always been in, at the most, a mile distance from a stadium. And when I went to Arizona, I was able to run down the street to that stadium. When I moved back here, I was right down the street from the stadium. And so being there allowed me to go on the field of practice. It allowed me to run the stadium steps. It allowed me to focus on, this is what I'm going to do. You know? And Uncle Frank just provided an environment of stability.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? He provided an environment of stability, and there was no chaos in the house. You know, and you know there was always a meal on the table, and the discipline part just came in being around a man who was serious about his business.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
men that are serious about their business don't tolerate a bunch of foolishness,
That's true.
you know, in their environment. And so it goes without saying, you know, and so that's what took place. And then him being in the position that he was at the time, he was the athletic director for Brownsville. He had a perspective that I didn't have. He knew things that I didn't know, and so I was able to kind of, I don't know if it's just through osmosis or questioning or whatever. It provided the space that I needed to grow.
Keep going. I'm listening.
Yeah, to grow. And spending that time with him as a junior, I would have to say was pivotal in my life, because I could have been anywhere. You know what I mean? But here I am under somebody that not only wanted the best for me, but that's my family. They cared about me, and it was sincere. You know.
Yes.
And so my junior year, I played for Brownsville, and I did, you know, I won't say very good, but I was way above average. Okay. And at the end of the year, of my junior year, I wasn't selected for any all-star teams. I wasn't selected for all county. I wasn't selected for all conference. And there was kids on my team that were, right? But I was the best on the team by far. And that's not to toot my own horn. It's just a fact. So, but Uncle Frank wasn't happy with that. Okay. And so, you know.
You said Laurel.
Brownsville.
Okay,
Brownsville. This is me at Brownsville my junior year. Right. So I'm at Brownsville my junior year. We finished the season in December.
Okay.
Right. Accolades and stuff like that come out. They're just now getting all state in that right now. Okay. So you got to say accolades and stuff that have been given out by January. Okay, of the following year. So this has got to be 95, right? 95, 96. And I didn't get no accolades, and the coaching staff was saying why. Usually they have to put your name on the ballot, and Uncle Frank knows all this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, he knows the politics.
He knows the politics involved, right? And he's looking at it like that shouldn't have ever happened. So he was determined to get me seen.
Okay.
So starting in January of my of that same year, of that following year, right? Football season just ended. I didn't get no accolades. January, he said, we're going to go to camps this summer, right? And so he took me to, first camp I went to was Michigan camp, okay? No, first camp I went to was a Metro Index camp up in Pittsburgh. Joe Butler, I think his name is. I went up there. It was supposed to be a 3-day camp. I went up there for one day, and I ran a 40 that must have been out of this world.
40?
Yeah.
What did you run?
I don't know, man. But Uncle Frank say 4.24. You know.
And this is going into your senior year.
This is going into my.
You just you went from your junior going into your senior.
Yeah. Yep.
And I heard about that.
Senior.
This is when this is 90. This is not 98. This is
95, 6.
Okay, because I moved here in 98.
Okay.
And I never met you. That's when you was in college now, right?
Okay.
You're in college, right?
Yeah.
And Philip Richardson, I'm in the Ridge. I live in the Ridge.
Okay.
And everybody's talking about you.
Okay.
This guy Bruiser, man. Bruiser. He runs a 4.2, man. He runs with a parachute. Yeah. And I never heard, coming from Brooklyn and living in the project, I never heard about. I know people train like that, but I never heard of somebody like personal know somebody who trained like that. Yeah. And that's what they saying. Yeah. And they had us running from speed bump to speed bump, trying to see, since you're the fastest, trying to see who's the fastest in the Ridge. Yeah. And so was the fastest in the Ridge. So that's how much you was inspiring them in your college years. They knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing because I hear stories all the time. Yeah. And you know they're from different points of reference, but me now I know that I had to inspire so many because I look at how big it is to go to college from here, right? Especially a D1, and it's unexpected. It's like Michigan, you know what I mean? And so I know kids had to start dreaming bigger, you know, just from that action alone. But it wasn't, I won't say it was easy to get there because, like I said, after my junior year, I didn't get no accolades.
Okay, so yeah, your junior year going in, and Uncle Frank stepped in and said, "Hold up, I got to get you seen."
Yeah.
How did he expose your talent
Yes.
to these prominent schools, these D1s?
Well, there was a local camp called, I think it's Joe Butler Metro Index Camp. All kind of college scouts come there.
Okay.
College coaches, college scouts. And it's like a 2-3 day camp. But after the first day, right, first day we ran 40s or something, and whatever I ran, right, they told me go home. Yeah, they said go home because the coaches and the scouts and they were, you know what I mean? And Uncle Frank was like, there was people getting at him, talking, you know what I mean?
While you're out there, they coming in, talking in his ear. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, different schools, right? And so I don't remember all the names of the schools and things like that at the time, but our second camp that we went to was Michigan.
Okay.
And so we went to the Michigan camp in like June.
Shout out to Michigan.
Hey.
Ann Arbor, Route 23. I know that road for sure. My family lives in Michigan.
Man. Route 23. We just got routed, didn't we? God, jeez.
Man, because you got to go through there to get to Grand Rapids. They're not on Detroit side. They on Grand Rapids. So I know about going through Ann Arbor. Yeah.
Ann Arbor's a special place.
Yes, it is.
So but we went to camp up there,
Okay.
right? And so that camp was like that could have been a 3 to 5 day camp too, right? And I remember getting there. I'm still best friends with one of the guys I met at that camp.
Okay.
But got to that camp, and again, first day, I don't know what we do out there. Drills, I can't remember. Drills, probably 40, part of it, right? They call me up to the coach's office. Go home. You got a full ride. Just like that.
So you this is not during the senior. This is during
My junior year.
your junior year.
This is after my junior year.
So you ain't even going to your senior
I
yet.
wasn't even in my senior year yet. This was my junior year. I just played. Finished it in January. Finished it in December, right? January, I ain't get no accolades. This is June of that year, before school, before my senior year.
95, 96.
I didn't even play another down, right? The season that I just played, that they said whatever. No accolades. Now, Michigan called us up to the office. I remember Coach Carr calling us up off the field. Go home.
Wow. So Uncle Frank, he became like a father figure in a disciplinary, positive light in your life, and also like almost like your first agent.
Yeah. I could say that. Because he got me seen. Right. Without that trip to Michigan, I'm not at Michigan. Right. Without that trip to Metro Index, I'm still here wondering if I got talent. I'm in Brownsville wondering if I got talent. I know I got talent, but they just told me that I don't have no talent. Right. And, hey, listen. You know what I mean? And that's a long story of why I'm here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because there's a I don't want to call it wicked or evil, but it comes from that seed, right? That tries, it manifests itself in trying to keep, trying to lessen your value, or trying for you not to, trying to tell you that you're not as valuable as you think you are. Here in
these type of areas.
In these types of areas, right?
Desolate places, they call it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if something bright starts to shine, there's people that's going to come and try to, hey, you're not that bright. You know what I mean? You're not.
Cover your light.
They're going to try to cover your light. They try to dim your light. They try to dim your light, right? And so if I didn't have an Uncle Frank saying no, nah, I know better. Then I would be, you know what I mean? Who knows where I would be at, right? The opportunities would have closed like this. I wouldn't be here. All right. So, in getting seen and being seen at the University of Michigan, I got to meet Charles Woodson.
Okay.
That
That's
same
the
day,
quarterback for Steelers, right?
Hall of Famer. No,
All not the Steelers.
Raiders.
The number one and
Bay.
only. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Wood.
Woo, he was a beast.
Wood. Yeah. He won the Heisman from a cornerback.
Okay.
I didn't even know who Wood was. I didn't watch college football like that at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew who he was because when I was on campus, everybody's Charles Woodson. He's up for the Heisman and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, whatever. I don't even.
Yeah.
But met and it influenced me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was influenced by it. I didn't even know how big Michigan was at the time. It wasn't something that registered to me, you know. But I remember feeling like I got to play ball here.
Okay.
Right? And so when I left, they told me to go home, and we're going away home. I'm like, yo, I don't even think it's real. It's like
that 4.5 hour drive back.
Man, you know it, right? You know what it is.
You know. So they told you got a full ride.
Got a full ride no matter what happens.
So did any fear creep in? This is off the questions already because I'm going with this is not scripted. This is going from the flow. Yeah. Is any fear creep in that? Okay, I got a full ride, and I know I got to play one more year. Yeah. Should I take this? It's a chance because people afraid of getting hurt or anything like that. Yeah. So how was that? You coming back? You know you got the full ride going into your senior year now. Is this still at Brownsville or where do you go into your senior year at?
So once Brownsville did that my junior year, Uncle Frank transferred. We moved.
Okay.
So we moved to Uniontown.
Uniontown.
Okay. So we moved to Uniontown and excuse me. And I played for Laura Highlands at that time.
LH.
But going into LH already, I already had a full scholarship, right? And
everybody knew that?
And everybody knew that.
Did it make the front page of the Herald?
No.
Or you guys try to keep it private?
Well, at that time, I hadn't even played another snap, right? So I'm leaving Brownsville. This is the same kid that wasn't on All County.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? This is the same kid that wasn't on All County.
Oh, my goodness, this is blowing my mind.
You see what I mean? This is the same kid, and now you still got a scholarship to the University of Michigan. I don't know.
So you're basically saying there's people that out there that's very talented as the best NFL player ever or the best basketball player, but they live in areas like this, and the coaches know that, but they somehow you don't make the all county team. You don't get the letters that you're supposed to get. Yeah. Well, we know everything that happened was supposed to happen the way it happened anyway. Yeah. But it could have happened. They could have made it happen.
You're right.
They had a chance. But Uncle Frank said, forget that nephew. Your uncle got you. Yeah. Okay. So now you're at LH. You ain't take you enrolled. You ain't take the first. You ain't even step on the field yet. You know all this. Yeah. So how was the difference between going from Brownsville to LH, even though it's only 12, 13 miles away?
Well, LH is known as the richest school in the area, right? They got the most money because of the taxes and the monies that come into their school. So it was a population. The demographics were much different, right? I was probably one of only 7, 8 blacks
in the school.
At the school, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know a couple people that went there.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I could probably name them on my hand. Ethan Etheridge, Willie White, John King. Yeah,
you know Mike Hicks. Mike Hicks was there at the time. Yeah, that's my boy. That's like my brother.
Was younger.
He was. Yeah, he was. He was like coming like a freshman.
Yeah,
yeah. When you was about to be a senior. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So, yeah. So probably 2 hands.
Jawan, is it Jawan? Jawan played ball. Is it?
I remember Jawan, but I don't remember Jawan being there with us. He
okay. There. He was coming in after. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So you can count on how many hands, black students. Yeah. So you came, but everybody, when you're playing football,
hey, that's the
it don't matter how many, you the man.
That's the thing about sports.
Okay,
and that's the beautiful thing about sports. It's like the great equalizer. You know, whether for good or bad, you know, you receive different when you have a talent, I guess, of value to people. Right, and people value football here. People value, you know, especially when they see a kid that has the potential to go who knows how far. Okay. Right, so I have been blessed to be privileged to be in, I guess, situations where people value my talent.
Okay.
You know, as well as where people didn't value my talent.
Yeah, you experienced both
Yeah,
sides
I've
of it.
experienced both sides of it. You know, and I would say, by the time I got there, they had no choice but to value my talent. You know, it was like,
Because you earned it from the higher ups.
the highest up.
If you don't fall in line, you making yourself look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. But
That's real.
but that's and so, you know, like when as we get into this story a little bit, and we'll see how that thought process comes back into the things that's happening now.
Right now.
Yeah, because that impacted me. You know, that was very impactful to me. Like,
It could have made you or break you.
Yeah.
It didn't break you. It made you more of who you are, like you said, right now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you at LH. I don't know how did the season go?
Had a good season. Had a real good season. We were 7-3, which was their best record. I did have a little injury. It was a little nick.
The hiccup, like I told you, remember?
Yeah.
That's a fear. Like, man, I got a full ride and I got to play 1 year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could have sat out, but you wanted you can't. You got to keep building
Yeah, keep
yourself
going.
up. Yeah. Okay. So you had to look 7-3, good record. You stood out, and now you're getting ready to go to college.
Yeah.
You're getting ready. So how was that coming into Michigan? Full ride. This guy's coming, William Peterson from Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, where's that? Where's Brownsville?
Exactly.
I know a lot of people ask you that question, yo, where's Brown? And you always had, did you say Brownsville or did you say Pittsburgh? Because some people just say, I'm from Pittsburgh, man.
Nah. I know those people too.
Yeah.
No, I've always been about the Ville. You know? I've always been about the Ville. Even to the point where when I was in college, and they would ask what high school I came from, I graduated from LH. I still said the Ville. Right? And when I got to the pros, starting Monday Night Football, what college? Brownsville. Right?
Oh, when they say where you underneath your name,
Yeah.
where you're from, Brownsville, Pennsylvania. So you putting it on the map.
Yeah.
A place that is not on the map.
Yeah.
I traveled through the turnpike. You know, like I told you, I know about Michigan. I've been traveling Michigan since 1990.
Okay.
And when you come across the PA Turnpike, the Keystone State, you have to cross here to get to, or you have to go to Canada, this is the fastest route to get to Michigan from New York.
Okay.
I'm coming from New York. And you don't see this place on the exits.
You don't even see it.
You don't see it at all. You see Uniontown, exit 91.
Okay.
It's a shortcut to get to Uniontown faster. Okay. Then it's the new state. You see, I travel so much. Then it's the new Stanton.
Okay.
And then it's all of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And then you get in Ohio. So you start putting Brownsville, Pennsylvania on a map. One of the worst counties out of the 67 counties.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Fayette County, the one within the county, places within the county.
Yeah. And Brownsville's one of the poorest within the county, right? You know, out of the places in Fayette County, there's Uniontown,
Okay.
Connersville, Brownsville, and what? We got Masontown.
Is LH in it? Is LH is just a
In
part of
Fayette
you?
County.
Okay, so Uniontown and LH is different.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that's what you said is it's different from going to Uniontown High School compared to the
LH.
tax brackets.
Yes.
Get the best of the best.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you graduated, but you didn't forget.
No. I was when I left here and went to Michigan, it was like turning on a light. You know, like the lights were off on the world. Like you don't see the world here. This is not the world, right, in Brownsville. And when I got to Michigan, it was like, man, people are alive.
Yeah. Vibrant. Yeah.
People have good things to say to you. We could eat good. It was smiles. It was positive. It was self-motivation. It was discipline. It was all those things that like if you don't know they exist, you just don't know.
So you're saying Ann Arbor itself is bigger than just a college town?
Yes. Ann Arbor is like, I mean, when I got to Ann Arbor, they were having they way ahead of the game. They was having hash bash, right?
Okay.
Hash bash is a day was 420 when all the students could just be out on the campus smoking. Right?
They had that?
Yes, I mean they have it every year.
Wow.
Every year.
When nobody bothered nothing.
Nobody bothered nobody. Yeah, nobody in the county. I mean, nobody in the.
I never heard nothing like that.
Never heard of it. They have Naked Mile where the people get naked and run down the streets in groups.
Okay.
It was just like stuff that, you know what I mean?
This
you
is
don't
your
see-
story. Tell it, brother. Tell it. This is
Listen.
your experience through your eyes. We're
Listen.
seeing it through your eyes.
Listen, to this day, they still have Naked Mile, I'm sure. Or the sports clubs, they get naked and run down the street. Track teams and all that. It's crazy, right? But for us coming from here,
Yeah.
it's like we don't understand traditions,
Okay.
right? Different cultures. And being up there was just like, turn on a light to the world for me, you know?
You said, let me buy a camcorder and capture some of
Listen,
this.
it was crazy. Fraternities, you know, you're dealing with about 50,000 students up there.
That's big.
And one of the most prestigious universities, especially public institutions in the United States of America.
True.
The alumni, we have the biggest alumni. We have the most wins as a sports program. We have the most wins as a football program.
Keep on going.
Champions.
Keep on going.
Champions,
Keep on
champions,
going.
Team. Right? And so that's.
So you're saying the Spartans don't got nothing on the Wolverines?
Oh, they know better than that.
Ooh, let's leave that alone. Let's leave that alone right there.
They know better than that.
Okay.
So, and then you also are around winners.
Okay.
Right. So in the locker room at that time, if you would think, I was a part of the number one freshman class in America. Okay, going in. So that means we had the number one receiver in the nation. We had the number one cornerback in the nation. We had the number one running back in the nation. We had the number one, you know what I mean? Bunch of number ones coming in to have the number one freshman class in the nation. That means we was better than every other college. And here I am from Brownsville, Pennsylvania, right? And so
98, 90, what,
this
90,
is 97.
97, okay. These are some prominent years going before the millennium. Wow, 97, okay.
This is 97.
Freshman year.
Freshman year.
You're getting all this. You're seeing, you're witnessing all of this
Yeah.
before you even touch the field.
Before I even set foot on the field.
Wow.
Summertime. We up there as soon as June hit when school was out here.
Oh, you went straight there.
I'm up Michigan.
Lived on campus?
On campus.
Okay.
Wilding. From the gate.
Like you said, they let you out.
Hey.
This is there was darkness here, and you finally got into some light.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I found was initially I was intimidated a little bit because I was looking at the class like, dang. Everybody here was telling me, yo, you should stay local. Go to West Virginia, go to Pitt. You're going to play. You'll play faster.
Yeah.
That's what the word was.
Yeah.
You'll play faster. Even Uncle Frank said, go to West Virginia. You're going to play sooner. I was like, I'm going to Michigan. I want to go against the best. I want to play with the best. And
So you had other options. I mean, even though they was the first to say you got you. After that, you start receiving other letters from West Virginia and Pitts.
Yeah.
Of course, they start recognizing Michigan, recognize you. Of course, they saying, "Hey, let's not let him go out there.
Yeah.
Let's keep him local."
Yeah.
You said, "Forget that.
Yeah.
You gotta let you gotta spread your wings."
I was already set. I was set at Michigan. And then when I got there that summer, like I said, I did have some. At first, I was just like, man, am I that good? Right? Am I that good? I didn't have no ranking. Everybody I was in that class was nationally ranked.
That's how they made it to Michigan.
That's how they made it to Michigan.
You didn't. You just went there and showed up showed out.
I just showed up. You know what I'm saying? I just showed up from Brownsville, PA, like, who's this kid?
Yeah.
Right? But they had seen me in person. They already know who I was. You know what I mean?
The diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
You came out.
Yeah. So they knew, you know, they tell stories now in hindsight, but the seniors in them knew my talent already. You know what I mean? Because they had talked to the coaches and they was like, wait till you see this kid. You know what I mean? But I didn't have no
Number what? Number
23.
23. Number 23. They said, watch out for number 23.
Yeah.
They said, who? He from Brown? They ain't no play. He from Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
Listen, by the end of that, check this out. This is and this is just a sidebar. When we got there that summer, a lot of the kids that were assigned as freshmen, they were on campus as well.
Okay.
Right? So we were all on campus, schools out, summer school. But we were there getting acclimated, etc. But I'm realizing that I'm one of the wildest right? And I'm not realizing it like I'm trying to be the wildest or trying to be anything, but like there was an incident where the first thing I did was I had to knock somebody out on campus, right? And it wasn't something that, it was one of those things where it was reaction, right? But from that, you know, I was with some of the seniors. Seniors was taking us out.
You was hanging with the big boys.
I was hanging with the big boys. They were showing us around.
Okay, yeah.
But there was rumors of gangs. The coaches always told us, watch out for the gangs in Ann Arbor, right?
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they would come over from Ypsilanti, and there was different gangs.
Ypsilanti, okay. Oh, yeah, I know about that, yeah.
Yeah, so they would say, watch out for the gangs when you're on campus, this and that and the third. So one night we were all out. I was out with Chris Floyd, and he's fullback. If you see Chris Floyd, like if you ever look up some, oh man, Punisher,
the real big Punisher.
Yeah. So I was with him and a couple other fellas, and we was going into a spot, and dude bumped me, like he bumped me, and then he turned around very disrespectfully, like looking at me. You know what I mean? And the first thing that flashed in my head was the gangs. You know what I mean? Like
he trying to provoke you
Yeah.
into something that they already warned you about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he was provoking the wrong one because I was about that at that time. You know what I mean? I was rough around the edges coming out of here.
Yeah.
And so I knocked him out, right? And we all had to run down the street, take off our shirts, hide, this, that, and the third. But from that moment, it was known in the locker room that, yo, don't play with Will P. You know what I'm saying?
The freshman.
Yeah,
from Browns offensive.
Don't play with him. Yo, don't play with him. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't your average freshman.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like it created an equal level. You know what I mean? Yeah, because before I wasn't known.
Before you even got on the field, you earned some kind of respect.
Yeah.
Even though it's in the wrong light, but you really was defending yourself.
Yeah. I didn't provoke that.
Yeah.
It happened, but it happened so quick. And from that, it was like, you know, football is a game where it's a game of intimidation.
Oh, yes, it is.
You know what I mean? It's a physical game. And lining up at that corner, you got to have a certain attitude about yourself. You got to have a certain something about yourself. And up until that point, Michigan was known as mediocre Michigan for the last 4 years because they was finishing in the middle of the pack. They wasn't winning like they were supposed to be winning. And so now they went out and got some dogs, right? Some of my brothers, like 8 of us got kicked out of school. I was the last one to get kicked out, but out of that freshman class, there was only 17, 16. 8 of us got kicked out. Jeez. Because they went and got some dogs because they needed to bring some different kind of energy.
Build back that Michigan pride back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and so that part of it was like, okay, yeah, we got the right ones. You know what I'm saying? The players is like that. Players start transferring. Other corners start transferring like, we ain't going to be able to hang with these guys. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, you know, from that point, I started as a freshman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Played in the Rose Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Won a national championship. Started in, you know what I mean, as a freshman.
Say that again.
Run it. Won a national championship. Beat 13-0. I wish I had the ring on. I ain't got the ring on. Yeah. 13-0 and created a legacy that will never die at the University of Michigan. Not even realizing how big that was at the time, but
you shook the foundation.
Yeah.
This little kid from Brownsville that the people who were here didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Or notice, but didn't try to put in that light.
Yeah. Brownsville tried to, hide him.
Keep you in that diamond. They see the diamond in the rough, but they didn't want to pull you out.
Yeah.
But Uncle Frank made sure that diamond got to shine.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all won the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
Everybody know don't play with William Pete.
Yeah.
And now how it is. Describe the rest of your college experience within the 3-4 years that.
Yeah. So a quick synopsis or summary, if you would, is the following year after the national championship, that's when guys start getting kicked out because you could defeat yourself from success. You know what I mean? There's a thing called complacency, right? That when some people that are not accustomed to success get success, wild out.
Okay.
Right. And I think that's what happened to our class because we came in and won it as freshmen. And so that was easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We about to these next couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, we won the national championship. The hockey team won the national championship. The Big Ten, our girls track team won the Big Ten championship. Our gymnasts had won. You know what I mean? So it was like a party non-stop at Michigan our freshman year.
So the basketball team too. So you was around with is that the
Before us.
that was before y'all?
About 4 or 5 years before.
Oh, okay,
us.
okay.
What was that? 92.
That was the 5'4", right? 5'5"?
5'5",
Yeah,
the 5'5"
Weber,
was-
Howard, Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm missing 2 others. I forgot the other 2.
Yeah.
But so you came after. So the basketball team was ready. The football team was losing that. They would say they was getting soft.
Yeah.
And you kind of shook up that.
Yeah. Our class did. You know what I mean? Because my buddies, like I said, about 8 of us got kicked up out of there, and I was given an option. You know, I had so much talent. They didn't want to, they wanted to give me
A chance.
a chance,
A second chance.
a third chance,
A third chance. Okay.
And I went and I came back to Brownsville. so this is like my third chance. They said that coach had actually told me I was gonna have to make a decision between sitting out next year and just going to school and demonstrating that I could be a student that could live there, or transfer.
Oh wow.
That's the ultimatum he gave me. This was before the bowl game. And so I had gotten in so much trouble already, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm a stay and just go to school, But I came home and I grabbed a pound of weed.
This is 2000, 2001.
This is 90.
Oh, this is still 99.
This is 99.
Right the year before the millennium.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is 99. And I came back here with the homie. And
You say I ain't playing football. I might as well go look to make some money then.
listen,
Everybody else, they having this 420 thing, right?
Hey.
Somebody gotta.
and they were selling 20s that looked like nickels. And I was like, I can make some money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can make some money out here. So I came back here. Somebody gave me a pound on the arm. We head back to Michigan on a drive. Me and my best friend to this day get to Ann Arbor, and
Break it down.
he made a wrong turn.
Okay.
He made a wrong turn, so we had to go back around. Right? Made a wrong turn, and we had been smoking on the way up there. Made the wrong turn, went back around. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He was driving my vehicle.
On the turnpike.
No.
Oh.
Up there at University of Michigan, we had gotten off the exit to actually get on campus.
Okay. And he made a wrong turn.
He made a wrong
in the
turn.
local police.
Yeah.
Seen y'all make the wrong turn.
Yeah.
And that's when they got me right behind.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
And they pulled so he comes to the
Look, when the lights is flaring, I'm out. I'm already know I'm out because this was my
second. This your
this
third
was my
chance.
third chance. I had just
So you did the 40 yard dash.
it's over. No.
Oh, in the car.
Yeah. I knew it was over. I'm just sitting in the car like I didn't say Whit.
No,
That's
yeah,
my bro.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's driving, but when the lights pull up behind us, I know it's over. You know what I'm saying? For me, because car smell like tree. We gotta, you know what I'm saying?
In the thing,
in the back.
yeah.
Like we riding like
Riding dirty.
filthy, right? And this was my bro's first time getting in trouble. First or second. But it wasn't like me.
Yeah, you was ready on your last.
I was ready on my last.
Yeah.
So I took everything, you know what I mean? And I had to, to this day they didn't say they kicked me out, they say I transferred because that allows me to finish my degree at the University of Michigan.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Which is great, which is awesome actually. Because Coach Carr was always like a father figure to me. And to this day, even those times that I got in trouble, those first, second, and third times, I was having one of my punishments was to get up at 4:00 in the morning to meet him at the stadium steps and run the stadium with him. He would walk his dog and I would have to run the stadium steps. And I used to be partying, right? And one time I missed.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these is like the second, third, fourth chances.
And he like,
listen. He said, listen. I remember he called me in the office. He said, if you miss again, he said, you telling me already you don't want to be here. So what I started doing was sleeping in the
locker somewhere within the stadium,
Listen.
so you don't miss.
But he had the keys to get in the stadium. But I used to sleep in the Gators.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That drive across the field.
Yeah.
I would party all night until like 2, 3, and I would tell them to drop me off at the stadium. I would get in the back. As soon as I heard those keys,
You know.
I'd pop up
Yeah.
and
Hey,
just
coach.
take off running past them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we through that, you know what I mean? When you go through stuff like that with folk, it builds some rapport and camaraderie, and you know.
You showed them that you was trying.
Yeah.
As much as, like you said, the weight of the instability before Uncle Frank stepped in was still trying to hinder you.
Yeah, the trauma.
Yeah, the trauma of it. You trying to fight. No matter how fast you can run, you couldn't. It was hard to outrun that.
Yeah,
But Coach didn't give up.
yeah.
Uncle Frank didn't give up. The people who cared for you and loved you didn't give up.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you didn't give up.
Yeah.
So now you there. He gives you this chance. Where do you go from that point?
So when I was kicked out, it was like, dang, that was a hurt piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hurt piece, man. I had to come back here, and I'll check this out. I had to come back here and hear.
Yeah. Uncle Frank.
No,
Oh,
not Uncle Frank.
the people.
Uncle Frank wasn't really rocking with me at the time like that. He was upset with me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I blew that opportunity, and not that he wasn't rocking with me. He was just upset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Disappointed. And
Tough love.
tough love, right? Tough love. Tough love. And from that point, it was like I had to figure it out. I had to figure out what am I going to do. But the interesting thing about it is when I got back here to hear the comments that were made, you know.
The people who tried to was covering your light and didn't shine and heard about all the trouble.
Yeah.
It got back.
Yeah.
It got back.
Yeah.
Little town, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you come back, not with shame, right? You didn't have your head down. You still had your head up somewhat.
I still had my head up because I knew one thing I did know that I did find out is that I could play in the NFL. That's one thing I did know. Yeah. You know, and so at that point, it was like, I just got to get myself together, and I'm not going to let this happen again.
Okay.
Right. And so what's next? But the part about being back here and hearing what people were saying, it was like even some people that would pretend to be friends would say things like, man, you almost like
Look at you.
Man, you were good.
Yeah. You were good.
Yeah. Or like, man, you could have been somebody.
Yeah, like look at you now. You back here with us.
Back here with us type of deal.
Oh.
But it was very sarcastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To the point where you could have kept doing what you was doing there.
Yeah.
So now it's all on you when you came back.
Yeah. And so it was like, man, I got to make some decisions. I got to figure some things out. And so I ended up going to Youngstown State.
That's right there. That's only an hour and a half, right?
Hour and a half away.
Okay.
Ended up going to Youngstown State under Coach Tressel, who was a coach. He ended up going to Ohio State. But at the time, Youngstown State was the number one D1 AA program in the nation. Okay.
D1 AA.
Yeah.
So it wasn't big as Michigan, but it was still classified under D1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it got so many different brackets to it.
They got D1, D1 AA, D2, D3.
Okay.
Yeah. So D1 AA, the thing about that, I could have transferred to another D1, but I'd have had to sit out a year. And I didn't want to do that. I was like, you know what? Next year's my junior year. I'm going to play ball. I'm going to the league. Simple as that. So I went to Youngstown State, which I could play immediately. But when I got there, they told me, listen, they said, when I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go, because Coach Collins was just calling me, they said that I only wanted to go to a school which played man-to-man because I wanted to highlight my talent so I can get to the league. If I'm going to come down to D1 AA, man me up, let them see my talent so I can get to the league.
Yes.
Right? And they said, Youngstown State said, yes, that's what we're going to do. That's the plan, right? But all summer long, we didn't do no one-on-ones. We didn't do no drills that had anything.
To prepare you for the season.
For man-to-man. And I was like,
You told me before I got here this, and that's why I came. And now that
Now that I'm here in the summertime, we're not doing these drills that I know you got to be able to do. I'm not the only one going to be able to play man to man. We got to have the other cornerback
On the other side,
too. So what are we doing?
Okay.
So I was going back and forth with the coaches. Like, all we doing is running cover 2. I can't go to the league playing cover 2 at a D1 AA. You know what I'm saying? That was my mentality. It was like, I've been about team. I won championships already. I'm trying to get to the league. And I need to be locked up against the best receivers and shutting them down. Cover 2 is just shuffling and jamming.
That's so you're on the corner. That's the guy it's not a safety, but he's more in the
back behind him.
Okay.
That's
what Woodson is. Is that where he played?
Woodson was a corner.
He was a corner too,
but he ended up retiring as a safety.
Safety, okay.
Right.
So he played both.
He played both.
Okay.
Right. But you don't show your ability playing cover 2 as a corner. It takes some talent. It takes the talent.
Agility and the stance and all that. Okay.
You got to be agile, nimble. That's how you get to the league. And so I was like, I said, y'all lied to me. And so when I figured out that they lied to me, it was after the spring game. In the spring game, we already had beef. So I'm beefing with the head coach. I'm beefing with my position coach. And I'm like, guys, listen, this ain't going to work. So I'm out.
Just like that.
Just like that. So I thought I was going to play that season and go to the league. Here, I got to sit out anyway. Right? So I had to sit out anyway. So I transferred schools. There was a school named Western Illinois.
Western Illinois.
They was on my top. They was on me when I was leaving Michigan. And another guy from Michigan had ended up transferring there years before. And I remember that name. And so I got a hold of them. I said, listen, I'm willing to come. I would have to sit out a year and then play the following year. I said, but I'll play scout team for a year to get the other guys ready.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So it's no big deal. Mind. I don't mind. And it gave me time to get my head right. So I went out to Western Illinois, which is in Macomb, Illinois, just about 3 hours from Chicago in the middle of nowhere.
That's probably where they got them windmills at and things out there.
That type of deal.
Oh, man.
Iowa. Yeah.
I know you talking
Quad
about.
cities and all that. Nothing out there.
Yeah.
So I had to sit out there for a year and do no football.
But you're doing schoolwork. And the most important part I forgot to ask you about, what's your major? Because I know you got to have some kind of major and minor as you're in school. Yeah. So what was your major and minor doing these years?
I majored in political science.
Okay.
And I minored in marketing.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I got to Western, I was able to focus on my schoolwork. I was able to focus on me. I was able to just get my mind right and say, I'm going to the NFL. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to let anything sidetrack me from that point right now because I already know what I got. It's on me. And that following year, I got to play, balled out. We won the championship, beat Youngstown State. Hey, I couldn't wait to see them. Hey, they ain't want to see me.
You laced up everything tight for that one. You said, "Oh, they gonna get it tonight." You came out like Jordan.
Yeah, they was. They didn't want no parts that day, but had a great year.
Okay.
I was the first D1 AA player taken in the draft. Third round, second pick of the Giants in 2001, and from that point, played 10 years in the league.
Okay. And yeah, that's exactly. So you played 10. That's actually the next question. How many years you played in the league? And you answered already. It's 10. Now, within those 10 years, what experiences did you, like you said, coming out of Brownsville, a little place like this, and now you got drafted. What's the first team? Is that the
New York Giants?
New York, baby. That's home. Giants. That's the first home. Brownsville, second home. Yeah. So. Shout out to them Giants. I'm not deep into it, but I love me some Giants.
Yeah, the G-Men.
The G-Men, baby. Yeah. So you got drafted to the Giants, and now you're in the NFL, and you're what they call it, you're starting to broaden your horizon now. You're in the NFL.
Yeah.
Somebody who, like you said, and you didn't even take it in serious back in middle school. You didn't take football serious, but in 9th, 10th grade, you realized, hold up, I got something here. And you made it to the NFL. And I looked it up. It's only a couple of people who made it to the NFL around this area. It's like a handful. Yeah. And you're one of them. Yeah. So let's give you a round of applause for that, man. That's amazing. How would you describe overall those experiences within the NFL and what the NFL, how it changed your life
and enlighten you to start developing the man you are now?
The NFL. Well, the NFL in itself is something, a small fraternity, right? That you kind of become a part of, and you don't realize how special it is until time goes on. You know, I didn't realize how special the NFL was to so many people until after retirement, really. And I played 10 years, you know what I mean? So that was enough to soak it up and really see. But when you go in there, it's almost like you're in this bubble, you know, and it's just everything is positive because that's how you can make it. You know, you can make it so. Like, even when my first check was probably, I can't remember, 70 or something like that. But
270,000.
270,000, right? So you know what I'm saying. So that signing bonuses and the even the rookie base salary, you know what I mean, is like mind changing money. You know what I mean? Perspective changing money. And then also the other thing that comes with it is notoriety. And being in New York in that market, you know, in that market, it's like
one of the biggest markets.
It's the biggest market in the world, you know, and being able to go into that city with a pocket full of money and notoriety, it was a game changer for me coming from this small place, this small little town.
East Rutherford, right? Is it? You know,
it's in East Rutherford.
And you know, I just learned that just driving Uber and Lyft and just starting to venture out and traveling. I didn't know the stadium. It's a New York team, but the stadium is not in New York.
Right.
It's in New Jersey.
It's in Jersey. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you living in New York?
Yeah. No, I was in Jersey.
Oh, living in Jersey.
In Jersey, yeah.
And all you gotta do is get to the stadium, and that's your stadium right there, where you start making your name.
Yep.
Number 24, right?
24, yeah.
24. Yep. William Peterson, number 24. And how was it when you first came out of that? You know how they come out?
Yeah.
How was that? Yeah. I see the picture in the room that actually I probably use as the cover for this part. But how was that for you when you came out and you hit all those fans?
Yeah. That's words can't describe. You know what I mean? Words can't describe the energy that goes into it, and when you got 50 guys that have that kind of energy, and then you got the stadium packed with fans like that have been fans for a long time, you know, die-hard fans, and so the energy that's in that stadium, man, and then they got the planes flying over.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
The cannons going.
Yeah, national anthem getting ready to go. Yeah.
So. It's electric, you know. It's electric, and especially when you're every week when you give so much and you focus so much on one thing and one, you know, there's guys going out on that field intent on winning, and we give so much to that. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's one of the most beautiful games that's played on the earth today. We know that there's a ton of things that can be fixed, you know, and I can go on and on about that. But I would have to say that it's something that is once in a lifetime. It's something that it'll change your whole. I guess it'll change your perspective on discipline and motivation, and a person's ability to manifest. Like, you see, there's great people in those rooms, on those teams. You know,
the staff is a big organization.
Not just this. I mean, I'm talking about the players.
The players themselves within that room, that locker room.
Within that locker room, right? Within every NFL locker room, you got to realize who you're dealing with.
Okay.
Right. You're not just dealing with average guys. Right. These guys, like average guys, are at Michigan. And I won't even say that. Excellence is at Michigan. But these guys are excellent of the excellent in that locker room. You know what I mean? When you go from high school, like there's guys high school, right? They're all state, right? All state guys go to Michigan and don't play. You see what I'm saying? But then the guys at Michigan that are the best of the best go to the league and don't play.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
But then those guys that do play, right, they're the best of the best of the best
In the world.
in the world, right? So, and then when you got that kind of energy in the locker room, you're talking about. I hear all the time. I never heard the word alpha male until I retired from the league.
Okay.
By chance.
I'm starting to hear that a lot lately.
Man, it's all over the place. Like, yo, I don't even know.
Yeah, like, come on. Okay.
I don't know what that is. But it's like, if I had to term it, it's like, that's what you got in that room, right? Those guys that have been the best of the best of the best of the best of the best all over, from everywhere across the United States. And
you started.
I started immediately. I started my first game.
So you're the best of the best of the best.
Listen,
I know you're humble. I know you have the humility. Yeah. But the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
You made it from a place where most people don't make it.
Yeah.
Just like you said, just even have a job at a 500 Fortune company.
Yeah.
They don't even make it. But you beat the odds, and you made it to not just be on a team, to start for the New York Giants. Yeah. One of the biggest, definitely top 5 organizations in the league.
Yeah, definitely. And like I guess my best year it was probably my 4th year. I was at the end of the season. I thought I should have made a Pro Bowl, right? I thought I was ranked at the top. I thought I put in some time. I put in some nice work. I think my 4th year, and but I didn't. I never made a Pro Bowl. And then after that year, I got injured, and there's a number of things that can happen too, right? That's why I always know that the Most High's had His hand on me too, because there's guys that come in 1st round draft pick, they tear their Achilles
from the first year.
First year.
And that can mess up the whole career.
Man,
there's no career after that.
They play one more year and they're done.
Sheesh.
You know what I mean? Quarterbacks drafted first pick.
That first hit.
Go in, might have alcohol problems.
Or personal outside of off the field.
That's what I'm saying.
The field.
Right. You got physical issues that you can have on the field. You got personal issues that you can have off the field. Just things that can take you out the game once you're in the game. And I've seen, being in the locker room 10 years, you see all kinds of things happening. You're just like, dang.
Millions of stories.
Yeah, this is NFL, not for long, for real. So I always count it as a tremendous blessing. I like I said, I didn't make a Pro Bowl. And then the year before the Super Bowl, I got hurt. And it was like, okay, so there are things that I wish I did, but I don't have regrets in terms of, man, look how the Lord has blessed my life, and He used it as a tool to be able to expose me to the things that I needed up here and in here to help do what I'm doing now.
So now you're in the 4th year. You say you put in the work. You're putting in the work. You feel that you should have made it to Pro Bowl. You didn't. You had a little injury, and now are you able to see past the NFL? Because I know a lot of, like you said, it's not a long. You can't play the sport for 20 years. Like have the longevity as like LeBron is having in the league like that, because it's a very physical sport. At that point, were you able to see like, what am I going to do after I'm done with this, even if I have whatever so many years left? Are you able to see that? Start getting a vision? Because the financial flow is there. Like you said, the NFL, it blesses people to do things they never done. It provides that kind of opportunity. Now, can you see what you're going to be doing past the NFL within either your degree that you have or within the gift that you're just what you're destined to do outside of sports?
Yes. Definitely. I think after I injured my back my 2nd year. I had to sit out. I injured my back in like the 4th game.
Wow.
And I had to sit out the rest of the year and use a bone stimulator. I cracked my L5 pedicle. Pain. Talking about pain. Oh, man. I couldn't jump off one leg. I thought it was over for me. But they said they caught it in time. And because they had an investment in me, they said, listen, don't worry about it. You're going to sit out this rest of this year. Come back next year.
Therapy.
We're good to go, right? So I came back, but then I broke it. I broke the other side going into my 5th year. And that's when it was like, man, you know what? This ain't going to last too long. Right, you know what I mean.
The gap is starting to close. Okay.
Yeah. So, so then I begin to say, okay, what am I do next? You know,
So within your 5th year after the other side.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So before that, I was dibbling and dabbling because with my mother, I was always into fashion. Okay, so
Back from Gabriel Brothers,
Right.
when she introduced you to the fashion world. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And so with that, I was able to look at New York City and say, hey, I want to see what's cracking up in here. You know,
New
what I mean?
York City, the 5 boroughs, baby.
So I got a mentor. He was actually the president of licensing of Van Heusen at the time, and he became my mentor. And then I went to FIT. All right, I went to FIT. I only lasted not even a year. Right, streets was calling me. You know what I mean? And then I made a bunch of friends in the fashion industry.
Okay.
Okay, because I was going to all the stores and
Fifth Ave. You was on Fifth
I was
Ave.
everywhere, man. Soho, Tribeca,
Oh, yeah,
Fifth
yeah.
Ave, Brooklyn, all over. You know,
Shout out.
and made some really, really good friends in New York City. You know, just running around and meeting some interesting people too. And then I started traveling the world. You know, so I definitely there was definitely a point when the first injury made me feel that way. My second year made me feel that way.
Start coming in your mind.
Start pondering it, because it was just like, man, I didn't think I was going to play again after that. I was even questioning, am I going to be able to play with my kids if I have kids?
Oh, to run around and chase after. Oh yeah, with a back injury.
With a back
and
injury.
throw them up in the air and all that.
Man,
Yeah.
you just don't know. I never been through nothing like that. It was even like to sit down. It was talking about excruciating pain. I remember laying on I used to lay on a couch in my house, and I would take a pill, just lay on the couch in my house, and go to sleep.
That much pain.
Man, for weeks. You know, so it made me start to think and consider, okay, what are we gonna do next?
So, like you said, now you're in your 5th year, and it start really pondering on you after the second side. The other side is starting to not give out, but you injured it, and now you say you start traveling the world. So doing your travel, is that because when you're able to get out of New York City or just out of America, period, is this when more things start coming to you, or you can have a clear mind and start thinking more when you're like in your traveling
Yeah.
to different countries?
Yes.
And what do you remember? What country was it where it hit you, or you got more of the vision, or more pushed into your destiny? What country was that?
Definitely Egypt. Egypt, that's the first place I went. When I
Ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Who got more history than Egypt?
Yeah. You know what? When I was young, I wanted to be an archaeologist. Okay. Like when I used to collect coins and things like that. Right here, right on the street up here. I used to dig in the dirt and like I'm gonna find a dinosaur or something like that. You know, my babies
Find some oil or some steel and browns.
You don't know, right?
You don't know what you might find. Yeah.
body.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that, I guess that fervor to want to know and learn and see was like, okay, I got money, give me a passport, I'm going to Egypt.
First place, you got your passport stamp.
First place, Egypt. I had my
How long was that flight?
I can't remember.
I know it's not no light flight.
Nah, but I used to go to Hong Kong back and forth too. And that was
So
like
you was
20
already,
something.
that's like 16 to 20 hours. Yeah.
But that was after Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it was
so-
starting to prepare you for something
Bigger.
where you was destined to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I can't remember that one, because I was about to say 16 to 20, but I got to be.
You know it was a
farther than
long
that.
flight. It's
Yeah.
definitely almost 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so now you land in Egypt. How is that?
Egypt's beautiful, man. I loved Egypt. Like I said, I went with a buddy of mine, flew out there as well, that played at the University of Michigan. He was playing in the NFLs too at the time, or the Canadian League, one of the two. I can't remember, but he's like, okay, I'm gonna go out there. And I had a great lady who hooked up Egyptologists, archaeologists, and I had people meet us at every place that we went.
So you was organized. You made the contacts and planned. You a real planner. You planned your trip before you got out there.
Well,
I mean, you have to.
No, I had a special lady. She was my assistant.
Okay.
But she's Michael Strahan's assistant, if she's still around.
Shout out to Strahan,
Shout out
baby.
to Stray. Strizzy.
Yeah.
And she only worked with a couple guys, but I was fortunate enough for her to work with me.
Okay.
And she had all the connects, and she knew how to do it right. You know, so she's like, okay, you want to go to Egypt? I was like, yeah, I want to go to Egypt. She made the flights. She made it all happen.
International.
Yeah. So when I was there, man, we were in Aswan, we were in Luxor, we were in where else did we go? Cairo, Delhi. No, I'm thinking Delhi. That's in India.
Okay.
It was in India, yeah. But Memphis, Luxor, Karnak, the Temple of Karnak, where everybody, all the pharaohs used to go to make some kind of
not sacrifice, but
a representation to the god.
Okay,
from their
perspective,
right? And so they had the beams where all the pharaohs had written on them and wrote, pretty
That's
intense.
You got a great memory, man. You remember you calling these names out. That's a great memory you got.
Well, no, why I remember is because I have the pictures, right? And I can always look at them.
Okay. So after the course, you kept your memory. Okay, yep.
Yeah. Because I forget a lot. You know what I mean? I forget a lot. People always say I forget. I tell people too. Shoot, I probably, you know what I mean? God forbid that it becomes a problem. But they say 90% of NFL players, when posthumous, what they say, when after they're examined, after they're dead, they have CTE.
Yeah,
right?
that's been coming up lately.
And I've had several concussions. Times I passed out on the field type of deal. So I do have, and I don't hold no punches when I say it. Like there's, I don't remember everything that everybody remembers. When people come to me like, "Yo, did you remember?" Da, 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 da. And it'd be like, you know what I'm saying? But it'd be like, "Yo," but I don't ever take away from it because it, you know.
Because they remember, you ain't trying to burst their bubble at that time, so you let them share it, and I understand.
Yeah. I let them share it, and just be like, you know what, that energy from that is what I could take now because it blessed you in that moment. There's people that told me, yo, you gave me $10,000 when I did da. People was like, yo, remember you flew my mom down? It was her birthday, and I told you da, and you flew her, and she never forget that. She ain't never gonna forget that, yo. And mine is like, I don't remember that. You know what I mean? But that's something I would do. So, and the love was shared in that moment. Still, if that's what creates the what you call it, the love, then
so be it.
So
right?
be it.
Yeah,
so be it.
But that's a show. Even though you went through that, you can still remember things in your childhood. That's called how we remember the things of the trauma. Okay. But we can forget the good works that we have done along the way because it's like we got so good. He's blessing you that you have so much good works to do that you can't keep account the good works that you have done.
Yeah.
So like you said, okay, I did that. That's good. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad she's happy. And now you're moving on to next. Yeah. So now you're in Egypt, and now you're starting to link with the right people, and they take you internationally. So like I said, when did that vision come on for the team humanity, the thing that I first encountered of you outside of knowing of your skills on the field?
Well, team humanity was a subsidiary or a second company that I had started in my mind under our first company, which was Bill Willie.
All
right, and so I had created Bill Willie probably my third year. I started toying with the idea of that I wanted to bring people together, okay? And so the name Bill Willie came about, and this goes into team humanity, so I'll just say
going in,
yeah, so I'll say it very quickly. But when I was young, I remember white men calling me Bill, and I never understood that, right? And like, my name is not Bill, my name is William. Why are they calling me Bill, right? And this is before I understood that Bill is William.
Yeah, it's like a short name. It's a different, like Robert. They call him Bob.
Exactly.
And I'm like, his name is Robert. Nestor Marley. Okay, but now as we get older, we're learning these things.
Exactly.
Okay,
right. So as I'm young, I'm thinking some kind of disrespect, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even understanding why they doing that. But then I got to the age where I could ask.
Okay.
Right. Like, yo, why are you calling me Bill? My name is Will. Bill is another name for Will.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I started to think about how I was going to bring people together, I was like, Dad, you know what? Most Williams that are white are called Bill. Okay. But then you have Will over here, and we have in our communities Willie, right?
Yeah.
That Willie.
Trying to make it cool. Sound
right,
cool. Yeah.
sound
What up,
cool.
Willie? Yeah.
Right. Willie, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, Dad, Bill and Willie is the same thing. They just look different.
Yeah.
Right. But it's the same. Right. So it was a way to say that
Even though we look different.
even though we look different, it's the same. Yeah.
Shout out to the first vision, Bill Willie.
Yeah. So when I created Bill Willie, it was like, okay, Bill Willie was an agent for change. Okay. And like I said, I had a mentor that was a part of Philip Van Heusen, right? And he was the president of licensing at the time. But I would go back and forth and meet up with him and talk to them about this company that I wanted to create called Bill Willie, and I wanted to impact communities and I wanted to impact human relations. And so then I got with a crew in New York City, and we started actually making stuff,
Working on everything
and getting symbols and getting logos and things like that.
But you're still in the NFL at this
I'm still in
time
the NFL.
while you're getting the vision to do after retirement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's like my
Post-retirement, I guess that's what they call it. Yeah.
right. It's like my third, fourth year, you know, and because I already had that injury.
Yeah.
And so I ended up making through the connections that I had in the city, I ended up making my first garments.
Okay.
And those garments were retailed at like $3,500 a jacket. We made 5 jackets that stood for 5 principles that could help human relations worldwide. Okay. And it was open-mindedness, awareness, truth, motivation, and perseverance. So at the time, we had a star, square, and circle as the logo. So we said the 5 principles as building blocks to better human relations worldwide, and made these reversible jackets that were sold in these high-end stores, right? At the time, I don't even know if Arrive is still in Miami, but Arrive Miami, Fred Siegel, Harper's Market, all these different stores that sold high-end goods, right? And so the one side was very clean and casual that you could wear to a gala if you wanted to, right? And the other side graphically displayed the principle, right, in graphic form. And like I said, we retailed these things for about $1,700, $3,500. I was so excited, got them in stores and everything. I took them back to my mentor, right? I took him back to my mentor and I showed him, and he was like, wow, these are amazing. He said, these are amazing. He said, you definitely have talent to design. And I remember having my tech pack designer and then the creative director at the time, who's a young lady she's doing amazing things in the world right now. Both of them are in the fashion world. But my mentor said, but he said, but I don't want to burst your bubble. But he said, but this is not what you told me you wanted to do. Yeah, and he said you came to me and told me you wanted to impact the masses. Okay. And he said, well, the masses can't afford $3,500 jackets.
Ticket, yeah, it's kind of
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, and then on the flip side, the person that can afford it doesn't care about the message.
Yeah.
Right?
They'll skip over that and want to go to the other brands that don't have no message.
Well, he said they're going to buy them because they look good and because they can say they got on a $3,500 hoodie.
Yeah, it's just for that, the clout.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're not buying it for the message.
True.
He says, so you're not hitting your mark. Right? And he said that this is the sizzle. This is the sizzle. This is the thing that would attract people to the brand. But people don't have, you're not going to make your money selling $3,500 hoodies.
True. With it being your first venture. Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, wow. You know, and my other, my mates were like, yo, what are you talking about? He don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. They trying to bump you up. Yeah, like man, forget it.
But I was like, yo, he got something that, you know what I mean? He knows something, right? And he was like, listen. He was like, when you came here, you told me that you had traveled out of the States and you had a vision that made you want to impact human relations. He said, well, you're still on top of the mountain right now. He said, you got to find a way to bring this same message down
to the mountain
so people can access it.
Ooh, that's some strong stuff you just said right there.
Yeah.
You made it to your mountaintop,
Yeah.
but now you got to come into the valley again. You got to come down to bring the people.
Yeah.
You see the message you got because you up there.
Yeah.
And now you got to bring it down to the people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. For somebody to catch on to your vision instead of being a yes man.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is good. Knowing behind his head, nah, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And that's bold enough for him to even approach you like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They being humble enough to even hear him.
Yeah.
That's called humility.
Exactly. Because I remember they weren't happy. Like the
Your friends, like, yo, they don't know what he talking about, man. You will pick. Come on, man.
Yeah.
All right, so you there?
So from that point, it was like, okay, you know what? He's speaking truth. So how do we bring it down? Right? How do we make it more accessible? How do we take this same message, 5 principles, building blocks for better human relations, open-mindedness, awareness, truth, motivation, perseverance, all this stuff. People ain't reading all of that. People don't got time for all of that. People that can afford it don't even care about it. People that can't afford it just can't afford it. But how can you make it affordable, and how can you make the message more easily digestible?
So you went back to the drawing board.
And Team Humanity came out of that. And so at that point,
and you're still in the NFL. This is like your 6th, 7th year. You're 6, 7 years in now.
Yep.
But you're gradually, knowing it's almost time for me to lead the game.
Yep.
But I'm gonna switch the game.
Yes.
And you got the vision.
Got the vision.
Team Humanity.
Team Humanity by Bill Willie at the time.
By Bill Willie. And the logo. How did the logo come into because that's the hard when you we can get visions, but how the logo, like you said, and to brand. How did that come about? Because when I first seen it, it stands out.
Yeah.
It's and it's something special. It's just not somebody just put something on it. It's not just ordinary. Yeah. You put some kind of real deep thought into it. Yeah. And how did that come?
Well, that was a good year and a half of playing with symbols, researching symbols. I know we kind of skipped the inception of the idea in totality in Egypt.
Okay.
But part of the creation of the alignment of the symbols and the creation of the symbols came from that trip as well, where I wanted to use something that was eternal. All right. And so when I started building this brand, it was like one of the things that was very prominent in the forefront of my mind was that we're going to die. And when I die, what's going to live after me? Can I create something that cannot die? Right? Because I don't want to just create impact while I'm here. I want impact when I'm not here.
You want your legacy to be infinite.
Yeah. I want it to be, like men are finite and they could kill us. Right? You know what I mean? So I start looking at the people that have spoken up for certain things or did certain things. It's like, I mean, I went out to India to see Gandhi's grave. I went, you know what I mean? I walked the path. I went to Egypt, climbed Mount Sinai. I went to Hong Kong. I was with the shamans down in South America. You know what I mean? So with that, it was like, how do you pass on an idea when you're gone? Okay. Right? How do you let people know that there's whatever you were trying to tell them when you're gone, right? And so like, okay, symbols are eternal, right? If you pick the right symbols, and what symbols are eternal. So I looked up, and the first thing that happened, and it's kind of skipped over, but I remember climbing Mount Sinai and looking up at the stars.
Okay.
Right, and seeing that star as a source of light, guidance, right, wisdom. Okay, and so we chose the star. And one of the girls I was dealing with at the time, her name meant star. Okay, and so it was like, okay, we use that. And then in researching symbols, I found this square because I was attracted to the square because of building, foundation, strength, and then the circle. The circle came from, I'm not sure exactly how it came, but I know initially it was, we wanted to create this change around the world.
Okay.
Right. And so it became star, square, circle. And at one time it was circle, star, square, star. It was, you know what I mean?
You're trying to figure out how to piece it together, but you got the symbols.
Got the symbols, got the feel, how we wanted to, you know what I'm saying? And so it took almost a year to get star, square, circle set in place. Boom. And once we get the star, square, circle, and I had to go Team Humanity, then we took that logo and said, I remember the meeting, came and said, excuse me, there was a meeting that we had and said, okay, how are we going to take this logo and use it in a way that people can just get it?
Yeah.
And I started researching the Olympic logo.
The Olympic logo.
It's rings.
Oh, the rings. Yeah.
Rings, right? For some reason, I seen those rings and I was like, okay, what if we had the star, square, circle in each one of those rings? And then a buddy of mine that was with us was like, we could take the rings going across shirts and a person can have half of the ring and another person can have other half of the ring. And then when they come together, they connect.
It's a looping. Yeah.
Right. And so they come together to make up the Team Humanity logo.
I got it.
And I was like, wow, that's the way to do it. Right. I said, let's do it. So we took that regular star, square, circle and we turned it into 5 rings connecting, and we made a campaign called the Get Connected campaign, and that was the beginning of that idea. And it was like, okay, wow, we brought it down, right? We brought it down a little bit lower, and started selling those tees. And that was probably like my 7th, 8th. That's probably like my 8th year. Okay. When we're getting around that time, and
so Team Humanity is established a couple years before retirement.
Yeah. So it's like, we started putting, I remember in my last year, we put tees in skate shops around New Jersey, just a single face logo, and put those tees and they were selling out just off the logo. And I was like, wow, that's cool, right? Because people wanted to wear them with their shoes. They was matching the colors.
Okay, yeah, you did have some good colors in them. I mean, you have all kind of different colors.
All kind of different colors, but it wasn't about the message, right? It was the face,
the look, yeah,
the logo,
yeah,
right. And it was like, dang, they're not. And I had ordered the connecting tees from Hong Kong, and they came in and the body was bad. The neck was, you know what I mean, yeah. and the sleeve was to the, and it was like, I can't sell these. We got to give them away as promotional. So I gave them away as promotional, and I've never gotten back to that point of connecting, of making those connecting tees. I did a couple things where we did some signature stuff, but. Long story short, by my 10th year, I was ready to now start a business with a direction, a background, a history, and I knew what I wanted to do. But the only thing I didn't know is where. I was still in Jersey. I had just retired from San Francisco, and where I didn't feel like I wanted to start that brand in Jersey, and I made a trip back home. Okay. I made a trip back home to do a photo shoot here with the kids.
So this is like 2011, 12?
It's like 11. This is probably 10.
10, okay.
When I made the trip back home.
Okay.
Made the trip back home and took a picture in front of that school. I still got that picture to this day with those kids. And I remember we were taking a photo shoot for Bill Willey. Like Bill Willey was an agent for change coming in to impact change in the community. I said, sure, we should go back to my community to do the photo shoot. But when we got here to do the photo shoot, I brought some of the hoodies, and the kids loved the hoodies. They was loving those hoodies, man. Like, yo, this is the dope. Yeah, great. But I seen at that time, it was like, man, I can't come here and just leave hoodies. These hoodies ain't gonna create the change that needs to happen here. The open mind in this hoodie, awareness hoodie, truth hoodie. Like, I was thinking that for some reason in my mind, I was thinking that we could send these hoodies out and that they would spark the change in the individuals that we would want to see in life that would help human relations. And then when I actually got on ground with the youngsters, I was like, this ain't going to be the answer. These kids want the garments because they look cool. They're not worried about.
You're more focused on the message than more of the garments itself.
They were focused on the garments.
They focused on the garments. You're focused on trying to you look to spread the message.
Yes.
And you're looking for a foundation to spread that message. Yes. And you don't believe from Jersey sending it out wherever.
Yeah.
You have to go somewhere.
Yes.
That you can get that message out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now you came back home.
Yes.
You have a lot of patience and you really think things thoroughly through before you actually do it, which is amazing because you have the resources to do stuff in a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
But your patience is making you think everything through because you really, I could see it, I could feel it. You're really you're looking to impact the youth. We don't use the word try. You're looking to impact the youth. So now you came back home. You see that they're more focused on the garments. And what do you say? Like you're starting to decipher this in your, dissect this in your brain. Like what's next?
Yeah, and it was very apparent to me that, I don't want to be the guy that comes in with a football camp once a year. I don't want to be the guy that comes in with a turkey give out once a year. You know what I mean? And I'm in and I'm out. And, you've impacted a life. Somebody ate because of you. Yes, that's great.
Yes.
Right? Even with a football camp, you never know what you spark in a person. But I was like, man, I got to go somewhere and be there and really use these. Right now, we're telling people that they can use these principles to create a better person, that create value in themselves. Don't nobody want to hear that. They want to see that.
True.
You know what I mean? People don't want to hear
somebody preaching from the preacher, but you ain't showing me nothing when church is over.
Yeah.
Show me.
Yeah.
This is what Missouri, the show me state.
Show me state.
All that that sending out.
Yeah.
Show me. So you want to show them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so it's like, okay, I gotta go. I haven't even started to work yet. Right. I gotta go on the ground in the Ville and be there and not move and build with the same principles that I'm talking about. I gotta build with those principles before I could tell anybody else that they can build with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh. I gotta do this on myself first before I can go out and say, listen,
to the masses.
Yeah. Or before I say, you should be more open-minded. I gotta be open-minded.
First I gotta be to show them how to be.
Yeah.
So you becoming like an architect in your mind, drawing this plan out on how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How am I going to show? I got to demonstrate it. And so when I got to the Ville, shoot, it gave me all.
Because you could have went anywhere in the world after retirement. You could have went to Cali. You could have went to Florida. You could have went to another country.
Yeah.
But that is the question. You chose to come back to Brownsville, Pennsylvania, your home.
Yeah.
Your birthplace.
Yeah.
A place where you didn't have too many good memories. It didn't stop you from wanting to come back here.
Yeah. Well, it actually became it very soon became, I realized it was where the highest purpose was for me. It was like,
after leaving Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
You was on top of that mountain.
Yeah.
And this is where you come back from to the valley.
Yeah. Well,
they call this like almost like the bottom of the bottom, a bird sanctuary.
Yeah.
Nazareth. Ain't too many. What good things come out of Brownsville?
Yeah.
And you're that one. You're one of those good things.
Yeah.
Great things.
Yeah.
And you came back to Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Well, and when I came back, I wasn't received like I thought I should have been received, or like I've envisioned me being received. Okay. Not only that, I seen that I had been away so long that I had a false sense of reality. And then also I needed spiritual power.
Okay.
Okay. And I knew that.
Coming here up against what you already know what you're up against.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, in wanting to create change here, I know from, like I said, I've traveled all over the world, and I haven't traveled to go party. I've traveled to go see shamans. I've traveled to go see where the Buddha's path was at. I traveled to go see where these spiritual
walk the same path.
Yeah.
You wanted to feel.
I want to see what, you know,
the
what I mean?
Red Sea, Judea, and all that, Jordan, and all that.
Yeah.
Israel.
Yeah. So I needed to gain some perspective.
Okay.
You know, but by the time I got here, I had gained. I had that perspective.
Yes.
And I had aligned myself with the Most High to do this work. And throughout my life, I have been reminded that I needed to come back here to do this work. And so it was always kind of faint, but then it was a louder call. Then it was a louder call. Then it was a louder call. Then it was like, yo, you're going home. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know this or not, but you ain't traveling. You ain't going back and forth to London. You ain't going back and forth
to London.
You know what I'm saying? Cali no more. You ain't going, you know what I'm saying? You think you're going down there to Brazil to kick it this week. No, you're going to the Ville.
Wow.
And then things when I got here, like, I mean, we can get long winded with that.
Yeah,
with the
we
Ville.
know that alone. It's another episode on its own. Yeah.
But the Father don't make no mistakes, right? And when you're listening and you can hear His voice and you move on His call, it's like there's nothing like it. You know what I mean? There's nothing like going the hard route and seeing the provision. Like, thank you. Because if it wasn't the provision, I'm dead right here. Yeah. If I wasn't moving on your will, if I wasn't in line with you, man, thank you.
They said obedient is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you was obedient.
Yeah. And it cost me, though.
You made sacrifices.
So many.
You put your body on the line.
Yeah.
Your mental. Yeah. Getting hit. I didn't know that you went through those concussions because I thought you was doing most of the hitting as a defensive back, cornerback.
Yeah, it was true. When you hit, you know what I mean?
Oh, the impact of you hitting someone impacts. Wow.
Yeah, sure. I hit somebody one time and knocked myself out. I was on the field, knocked out. They had to lift me up by the back of my thing, and then I came through.
Wow.
Yeah. Knock yourself out. But that's praised. You know what I'm saying? That's praised. The hardest. Me and my buddies talk about it all the time because I got friends that got problems. It ain't a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very serious. It's like I got friends that one of my young boys was and I don't want to mention now and get into details, but was a young brother named Philip Adams, right? And he was unfortunately involved in a they would say a mass murder, really. You know what I mean? 6 people got killed because of his mental condition, right? That went unchecked because of playing in the league. You know, the young boy, not even young boy, there was a receiver down in Tampa, right? That they discovered in a hotel, and his wife just came out. My wife sent it to me, showing how he started to isolate. He was a pillar in the community, and he started to isolate, and then he ended up dying in a hotel from alcoholism because he wanted to separate himself from the family because he was being agitated.
He didn't want to
hurt nobody.
I think I heard that was recently, right?
Recently. Oh, wow. Both of these were recent. This past year. You know,
bless their soul, man.
Yeah, I got another good friend that's, you know, I got guys that's dealing with stuff. They didn't play as long as I played. I played a long time. They didn't take as many hits as I started.
Dealing more problems than
right. So my thing is, I know I put myself in that situation.
Sacrifice.
I put myself in that situation, but
to build Bill Willie, to get to team humanity.
Well, you know, just
to like you said, go do what you were destined to do.
What you're destined to do.
And it takes the sacrifice of putting your body on the line, your mind, your brain. Your bones.
Which we didn't know at the time. This is all new.
You had a love for the game, right?
Will Smith, that movie didn't come out till I retired.
Oh, yeah, I know the movie you're talking about, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
CTE didn't come out till after I retired.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, oh, we forgot to tell you. You know what I'm saying? People starting to kill themselves because they think they got CTE. Junior Seau, you know what I'm saying, killed himself because he wanted his brain examined because he started. These are people that are very capable individuals. You know what I mean? That, you don't get on that field if you can't focus and concentrate. The thing that separates people, the starters from the second string, is that we can concentrate for 10 seconds at a time for 72 plays.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It might be, I mean, that's the average amount of plays that a defense is going to take. But it might be games where you got 85. There might be games where you got 60.
And everything going so fast.
So
and you got to focus.
You got to focus. Play one play at a time. One play at a time. But everybody don't have that ability to focus. So guess what? If you put somebody else on the field, that might be 6.
Oh, easy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you wasn't ready.
They not ready.
And he's gone past you. Touchdown. 86 yards.
One misstep. One misstep.
But you're more, you're right. That's what separates the starters from the second, third string.
Yeah.
Your ability to that focus to change the defense that fast. You see him scream. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Audible.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God bless John Madden. Playing John Madden.
bless John Madden.
Yeah. So he just passed away. And to just see that game, that's the thing in Brownsville. We played a lot of John Madden, playing batting for money. So but you was in there. The charts and all them different plays and how to switch and all that. Wow. And now you're saying it's taking a toll on many of you call it a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Some of your brothers.
Yeah.
That didn't deserve, of course, they didn't deserve to even go through that or put others through that from what they were dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest, right, there's more that the league should be doing. I know they're trying to do some things now, but I don't want to get sidetracked with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the league story.
That's the league
Yeah,
story.
and I'm sure they're making protocols, I believe. Slowly.
I think what's going to end up happening is, it's not going to be as violent as it is. That's just what's going to happen, because
it's going to be like basketball. One little tap. You can't tap somebody now in the NBA. In the NBA, you can't tap somebody.
Because what they're saying is you don't even have to have a concussion to get this CTE.
That's just from the years.
It's just from hits.
The banging.
Hits.
That's not normal for a human being to our body. We're not made, but we do what we got to do, right?
Right. They say one hit is equivalent to a car accident.
And I've been in that. That's why you see these scars.
Yeah.
Right across the street from the courthouse. Right at the courthouse, I crashed and totaled the van.
Yeah.
And four of us, we could have lost senior year. We could have lost our lives.
Yeah.
So I know that impact is no joke.
Boom, and then I'm sure you have residual effects from that even to this day.
Yeah.
Because the brain, right? You seen it in that movie.
Shatter.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One shake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't shake our babies
Yes.
until they get to a certain
Exactly.
age. And that's the same thing that's happening in the NFL.
Exactly.
But like you said, hopefully they do something about that so
Yes.
we can limit these situations or completely bring it to a stop, hopefully.
Yes, God willing.
God willing. So now you got the Team Humanity going. The circles even make some sense now because you went for, it's like you collected all your infinity rings or something, but it's really the Team Humanity rings.
Yeah.
You're not interested in partying no more. You're not interested in all the things that you was interested 10 years ago prior to that.
Yeah.
Now you're ready to be the man that you're destined to be. You're a legend already because you made it from an area that people normally don't make it. Yeah. You made it to the NFL, not just to Michigan to play for the Wolverine. You made it to the NFL. You left an impact with each team, each locker room. Yeah. You created a brotherhood. Yeah. And now Team Humanity is established. You're retired. And you take that. When do you move to Brownsville? What year you moved to Brownsville? Took that step over the threshold?
The year after I retired. So that same year. I retired in 2010. No, I retired in 2011. Mm-hmm. It was the spring of 2011. I came right home.
Came home. Wow.
Came right
just
home.
like that.
Came right home because the contemplation was, should I go back to try to play? I retired with a concussion. Jeez. I retired with a concussion, and it was like I got 10 years in. I'm ready to go. When I first got to the league, me and the other corner that I was with, Will Allen, it was the two wills. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? And we both said, I remember Jason Sehorn was like in his 6th, 7th year or something like that. And there was a guy in his 10th. Might have been Keith. But we both made a pact. It was like, yo, if we could get 10 years in the league, imagine that, yo. Imagine getting 10 years. I said, yo, that's the goal.
You're a vet.
To get 10?
Yeah, you're a veteran.
Shoot, after 4, you're a vet.
You're after 4?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm thinking military. Military, I think, is after like 8 years because my ex-wife, she was military. Okay. So you're like, so you're a vet after 4 years.
Yeah, man, because it's a young man's game up there. It's a young man's game in the league. You know what I mean? So, shoot, when you're in your 8th year, you're the oldest in the locker room.
Oh, wow.
Most often, you know what I mean, 8th, 9th, 10th. You got a Brady that's 20.
Yeah, so, like you said, some people, it's only a few that have that kind of, a small percentage that have that kind of longevity that he's having.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, especially at the different positions. But
So you moved to Brownsville, 2000, like you said, right after retirement.
Yeah.
And you're here.
And I'm here.
You could, like I said, like from just looking from the outside, you could have went anywhere in the world, and you chose to come back to Brownsville. Now, when you came back, you already have Bill Willie established. You got Team Humanity established, and I know the welcoming wasn't as pleasing as you probably would want it to be, because before, when you were having trouble at college, people already were saying, hey, man, look, you right back in the hood with us. Like, come on, man. Like, downplaying it, sarcastic. But you overcame that. You went and you did your thing. But why you want to move back to Brownsville? Yeah. You done had 10 years in the league. Yeah. We here struggling. What you trying to do? Stunt on us? Yeah. It's a mentality. I don't want to say that word, but it's a mentality that we know that we trying to overcome. A lot. Well, you overcame it. I'm overcoming it, and we want our brothers out here to overcome that same mentality that we overcame. Yeah. I come back to do great works. Yeah. Accept it or not. Yeah. But not only accept it, I want you to be a part of it. Yeah. And I believe that's how I end up coming into the Team Humanity and getting knowledge of it, and the iconic that photo shoot up the street. Yeah. Yeah. I have on the black and gold. Yep. I remember the shirt. Yep. I wasn't too much in a good place mentally, but I was still pushing forward as like you were pushing forward and pushing forward. And when you tell me you took the photo, I don't even remember that. All I remember, I'm being a part of something great, and everybody in this room, after we leave, is going to go do great things. Team Humanity. Yeah. We all believed in it. Nobody was just there just to get the photo out. Yeah. We all believed in Team Humanity, and we all doing our part. Yeah. And I believe everybody who left that room, I'm not keeping up with everybody, but whoever's on my Facebook, Terry Vessar and Trey and all, I believe they're making their impact. Yeah. So now you making your impact and you're spreading the vibe. How's that welcome into you when you first come back, the first year or two?
You know, and I expected certain things, and then I didn't expect other things. But when I got back, I knew that I was walking very humbly, because I didn't want to come off as I'm coming back with my chest out, right? And that's just not. That's just my nature anyway. You know, the Most High has made me that way, and I think it's been a blessing for me. Yes. But when I got back, you still have those who will assume that's what you come to do. And then, so I had to, I guess I had to look around and see who was allies and who were, you know,
enemies.
Yeah.
He blessed you at a table, right? In the presence of your enemies.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, and I wasn't expecting, I knew it was going to be hard, but I wasn't expecting the kind of fight that I was kind of confronted with immediately, where Brownsville didn't even want me to come up to the school to help with football. And I hadn't asked to go up, but it was a message was sent to me about not coming up.
Everything comes back, no matter when it was said and who said it. It'll get back to you around here.
Yeah, and so it was like, wow, like that. I'm here to do Team Humanity. I expect to push back against Team Humanity, but like I played 10 years in the league, and that's just what it is.
Oh, they upset that you didn't play the senior year here. They're still holding on to that. You don't want it. You don't really care to get deep into what problem they got, but from what you're telling me, I'm catching everything, and that's what it seems. I'm assuming.
I still
hypothetically.
don't know. I still don't know, but what I do know, what I do understand, what I do understand is small town politics.
There we go.
Right?
Truth.
And with small town politics, is something that a person who is who has perspective, it's hard to understand. Right? It's hard to understand why people do what they do. It's hard for me to even understand why they wanted to hide my light back then. Right? But then you also have to look at the history books. Why has there been cases where things have been whitewashed?
True.
Right? Why has there been book burnings, right? Why has there been instances, great instances where
in Egypt, right? You've been in Egypt.
Yeah.
You seen what I never seen it, but you seen it. Yeah, you seen it. I didn't see that.
Right.
You seen it.
I seen it, right? And so I've seen a lot around the world, and I've seen all of these instances where not just individuals' work has been buried or maligned or hid, but whole peoples, right? And why does that happen, right? It's a complex, right? It's almost like an inferiority complex, or a complex where you think that if they shine, I'm gonna be them.
Sure.
And so then people start acting out, and you don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know why, but you're looking at it like, yo, this ain't even about that.
Yeah,
right. I'm not here trying to take nobody's coaching job. I'm not here to coach football. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't even want to come up. I didn't even go up there to coach. Yeah. But to send them, but for me to get a message that don't come up, it was like, wow, okay, that's part of it.
And we're in the millennium you talking about. These the 2000s. This is 2011, 2012, 13, and you're hearing this like, this ain't the 60s we talking about. Yeah. And you can say, I'll come up I can come to the game. I ain't gonna disrespect I ain't gonna break the locker room, but I can come watch the kids and say, hey, what's up? But I know that could have kind of create a friction, and a bad feeling in you.
Brownsville is 1.1 square miles. You know what I mean?
You can walk through here.
Man, Brownsville is 1.1 square miles, and so to come back with, especially with that kind of intent that I came back with, right? And in my heart is only to do good and to meet walls. I'll tell you another wall. I wanted to do the Team Humanity Games in like 2014. I presented it over here at the board. They said no. I didn't get to do the Team Humanity Games until 2017.
Took you 3 years after that, after being denied.
We got T-shirts that we printed up for 2014.
like you lost the championship and you got to send because both